Yo, what is good, world? It's your boy, Calvin Leroy King, the third. And as always, I have my lovely co-hostess with the mostest by my side, Miss Reese PC, the one and only.
Hey, y'all.
And we thank y'all for tuning in and turning up for another dope episode of This, That, and the Third, the lifestyle show that gives you life. Literally. Now, we're going to begin the show in the best fashion we know how, and that's by jumping into some new news for all y'all new news out there. So what's topping off our news segment this week, Miss Reese?
Global warming, and it's real.
Al Gore. Al Gore is the one that really pushes or pushed. He pushed for global warming concerns.
You just said his name, and I forgot all about Al Gore.
Oh, you remember Gorgie?
He was the main politician, I think. What was it, the 90s?
Yeah, it was around
that.
that.
Was really pushing and talking about global warming.
So what's happening with global warming now?
It's here.
Oh,
so
okay. Hello. Hey, global warming.
So
welcome.
The Arctic sea level up in Antarctica, Greenland area is 40% below sea level and below the average for this time of year.
So it's like when your ice water melts when sitting in a cup in room temperature.
Yeah.
Didn't you always find it interesting that Greenland was full of ice and Iceland was full of green?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But that's how I remember.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
Opposites attract. All right, so you said 40% below sea level, meaning damn near half empty.
Yeah, and so because of the warming temperatures, it's actually melting one of the huge
icebergs,
blocks of ice up there. That is, I think, is close. No, it's pushing it further out, away from the coast, but it's melting.
Let me guess.
It's going to be a problem.
Vice News?
Yes.
Hello, Vice News. The source of all sources. Do you give a fuck?
I do.
Do you?
Okay, because I was watching the scientists on the Bill Maher show.
Okay.
And they were talking about global warming, and he was like, well, these were issues we talked about 15 years ago, telling you that we needed to do something then. Well, now this is 15 years later. Those problems have started to occur, and now we need to figure out some solutions.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're very reactive by nature. It's kind of like one of those, we can be preventative or we can be reactive, and we choose to be reactive, but it is what it is. So what are the solutions at this point? How do we refill the ocean?
I don't know.
Can we manufacture icebergs? I mean, we manufacture people. Can we manufacture nature?
I'm sure there's something we can
never
do.
say never.
But they have to figure that out.
Get some dry ice out there.
And I don't know how, like, with the water, I remember, isn't that how, no, never mind. I was going to say something crazy.
But before you do that, let me ask you this. If I have an ice cube and I have water in my cup, when my ice melts, doesn't my water rise because more water is being added to it?
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's so hot that it's evaporating into clouds?
No, all of that ice is melting. So where's the water going to go?
That's what I'm saying. When ice melts, it becomes water. So it should be more water, I would think.
Yeah, but then that's the problem. That's flooding.
Oh, flooding. But it sounded like it was like draining and it's 40% below where it should have been.
No, not that it's draining, but it's below, well, it's both.
The shit's off.
So when we talked about the infrastructure and the rivers and how they're trading in the rivers, so in one piece that I watched, they talked about how the sea level is off. So the ocean floor is unlevel.
Okay.
So that's what they mean. So some parts is shallow, some is deep, and boats and stuff can't get through, or they can get through, or they get stuck. Yeah. So it's that kind of thing that they're dealing with. So if the water melts, where's it going to go? Yeah. Is it going to flood Greenland or Antarctica or wherever, and then possibly overflow in other places?
And let's not forget the polar bears. I think an episode or two ago we talked about the extinction of the black rhinoceri. Are the polar bears next? Because I love Coca-Cola commercials with them in them.
Well, I haven't heard anything about the polar
Okay,
bears.
because I would hate to see them on a sheet of ice just floating into their death. Also, how does this affect my six-piece? I feel like maybe this doesn't affect my six-piece, but it will affect my filet-o-fish.
Not right.
Because if the boats can't get through, who's going to retrieve my flaky filet-o-fish? And I like the double with no cheese.
Yeah, you're going to have some issues.
So y'all stay woke on that, and maybe we can do some things to prevent global warming, like less emissions, ride bikes more, carbon emissions. Have you noticed, so you know Divvy is the whole baby blue, rent a bike, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Have you been seeing the red jump bikes and the white pace bikes? Like there's competition out here now for the environmentally conscious people.
I saw in the news about both.
Okay.
Maybe not the pace, but the red jump.
That's very smart, because now it's like you ride your bike and you attach it to the bus, get on the bus and go the further distance, get off and take your bike right back, and it's a pace logoed bike. That shit is dope to me. Jump, I'm not familiar with who's behind that. but it just seems like Divvy has gone up on their prices from like $3 to $8 an hour, and now people are coming. I remember when Divvy started, it was very affordable. Now it's kind of steep.
Well, because I don't know if it's the jump, but one of them is like a Uber, a Uber bike. So you have the app, you pay, so it may be cheaper than Divvy.
Yeah, I would assume because there's no
drop it
paper,
off.
there's no racking it up. You got to pay for those racks, those stations, those Divvy trucks.
Yeah, and I think this one, the other one, you don't, right? You just leave
I think you just leave it and lock it. Leave it and lock it, yeah. So we'll figure it out. But what can you do to prevent forest fires and global warming, man? Comment below and be sure to let us know. Also in news, we're talking about your president, not mine, 4-5. What's going on with the boy?
The shenanigans
Continue.
Yeah.
The saga continues. Wu-Tang.
Okay,
Wu-Tang.
so first let me say this. Fox News has been great with like avoiding facts.
Yes.
I watched
Very opinionated.
Montage of them all talking about this investigation, and they never got to the facts because 3 people have pleaded guilty. All right?
Admitted guilt.
And they have not talked about that. They keep saying, well, where are the Russians? It was so funny.
These distraction tactics.
Every clip was like, where are the Russians?
Right.
No, where are the Russians?
The Russians did it.
So I don't know what's going on. But Trump's lawyer, Cohen, right? He may consider to start working with Mueller because he has pleaded guilty to 8 counts of tax fraud and campaign violations.
Well, you know they say if you can't beat them, join them.
So
and it sounds like that's what Cohen has decided to do with Mueller.
Right. Paul Manafort, who was the campaign manager, pleaded guilty and was convicted of 8 counts, 2 bank fraud, 5 tax fraud, and 1 failure to report a foreign account.
This is America.
Right. Michael Flynn, who was the national security advisor, pleaded guilty as well. So his 3 main men, all guilty. Trump hasn't said anything about the other 2 except Manafort, saying he feels really bad. He doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't speak about Cohen. He does say, however, that the hush money that was paid to Stormy Daniels was his personal money. He was like, it was my money. It wasn't the campaign money.
Right. I bought that bitch.
Yeah. Because it's like they have him on 2 different things. So they are working on the Stormy Daniels thing, saying that that was part of the collusion, and then the actual collusion with the meeting and his son. So there's just a lot going on, and I think he had a rally in North Carolina. It might have been South Carolina. But in the rally, they were asking, like, do you all even care about what's going on with him and the porn star and the Russians and that whole thing? Nobody cares.
Why would you give a fuck?
They are ride or die. Like, we love Trump. It doesn't matter. We understand. He bought him some ass.
Bought him some
he paid
ass.
for
Don't
it,
we all buy ass at the end of the day?
That's what it is. I mean, they admittedly basically was like, that's our president and we don't care what he do.
I mean, but at the end of the day, it just feels like, at least since I've been tuning into politics, not saying I'm all the way woke, but I'm waking up. And it just seems like even with the past 8 years, these past 2 years with Trump ass, it just seems like all we do is berate and examine and dissect our presidents. It's like, what time do they have to work? They're always defending their fucking selves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, especially with Trump. When does he work?
When does he work, G?
Like, he's always tweeting.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say with Bush and Clinton, I mean, they were working.
Yeah.
Twitter was not around then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think with Trump and his tweets and the media, and so it's so many different stories, people just don't know what to believe.
Something that's very funny that came across my timeline, to me at least, is the fact that they had a meme or just an illustration of Hillary Clinton at the crib, folded up with a book and some wine, chilling her ass off, G. Like, go ahead, y'all can have it, and everything happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, Trump, I forgot who said it, but they were pretty much like Trump wanted to maybe prove he could be president, but didn't want to preside. He didn't want to do the job. He just wanted to show you, like, I'm going to let my nuts hang on this shit. And now he's in it. And then, is he going to run for re-election? Should he run? Or should he just cut his losses and be like, bro?
He hasn't said anything.
Right.
That would be interesting if he's just like,
I'm good. I'm good. Like, I think that would be a nice drop the mic moment for dude.
That would be, because what else does he have to
You
say?
ain't on shit.
I mean, he cut the taxes for his people.
For his people.
You know, he got the tariffs,
right.
you know, for the other people.
Oh, come on, man. It's opposite day over here.
I think
I just think that it's going to come a point where if he does choose to run for re-election, There's no guarantee that he will or won't win, but I think that he's going to get a lot of credit for the, is it called the, I forgot what it's called, but pretty much Obama puts things in motion, and then you see the fruits of his labor during the next campaign. He's going to be like, unemployment was lower than it's ever been under my, you didn't do that,
He can say that, but it's like, that's the thing that's crazy. He'll say that over and over, and then people come with facts, but it's like they don't hear the facts.
Right.
They like, no, that's not what he said.
That's my man. I fuck with him.
Yeah, so whatever.
We'll see. To be continued, man. Yeah. Also in news this week, we wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with infrastructure. So what's going on there?
So Trump on his campaign ran that he would put $1.5 trillion to the infrastructure of America, right?
Like roads and railways and things of that nature.
Did you hear about the bridge that collapsed in Italy?
I didn't. What happened? Did a bridge collapse in Italy?
It could happen here. Like the bridge, it was
London Bridge?
No, it was in Italy.
Oh, where's Italy? Never been.
Me either, man.
I thought it was in Paris or London or Italy. I thought they were all the same. Places we haven't been. Ignorance is bliss here on this and the third.
So no, but it was like the San Francisco Bay Bridge type, right?
Yes,
so it was
running.
like 100 and something feet that these people and cars fell.
Oh no, to their death.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I was coming back from dropping Damo. Hey, Damo. Hey, Gettysburg Address face ass. I was coming back from Pennsylvania dropping Nisi PC off, and we were riding through Indiana, very close. We was on 94 coming, and we were about to, be on the east side of the city. And we were high as fuck up on some bridge, some scaffolding. And I was just looking like, man, if I was scared of heights, I'd be scared right now, G. Could you imagine a bridge crumbling beneath the wheels of your car as you drove it?
No.
What would you say or do on the way down? What would you do? Jesus. What? I would be scared as fuck. I would have that blank little, did I get my will in order? Aretha Franklin should have. I would want to know that my kids and family would be straight. Hopefully they weren't in the car with me. But man, it would be scary as fuck to die that way. Dog, something like a little buzzer beater Hail Mary, dog. I need to go to heaven.
So this bridge collapsed, and when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is some of the things that are going on here
because of the infrastructure.
Our bridges are bad, and so when I watch Vice News and what they said they do, they go out, they check it, and they mark them. Mm-hmm. They don't let the public know until it's a certain level. Yeah. For me, I think you need to let me know right before that level.
Man, put me on the alert.
Level, anything can happen.
Yeah. I don't want to venture that way.
Semis, trucks, all type of stuff on these bridges. So this isn't about the bridges. This is actually about the water system.
Okay.
So out of the $1.5 trillion spending plan that Trump had, Congress only gave him 2%. So nothing is getting done.
There's $1 billion.
Nothing is getting done, but the rural areas are experiencing it worse. And so this particular story on Vice, obviously,
hey Vice,
is about the water system in Louisiana. It's ranked worst in the country.
Yeah, it sounds nasty.
They got a D- after recently going through the approval.
It's a lot of that Katrina water still, isn't it?
It's horrible. So this one particular family ran the water. It was brown. You could smell chlorine in it. They bathe, and they have to bathe in that, cook in that, everything. So a lot of the families obviously buy a lot of water bottles, but they've been complaining to their local government. So the government in Louisiana did do some things and put in some new piping systems, but it's just not enough. Yeah. And the one thing that this one lady kept saying was, if we had done enough of just the upkeep and making sure
preventative things, the maintenance.
Right, the maintenance and stayed in line, then we wouldn't have the situation. Yeah. One, now we have to repair pipes that are 50 to 90 years old. Why are we still drinking water out of pipes that are that old?
These are our forefathers' pipes at this point. I mean, this reminds me of that movie with John Travolta, A Civil Action. Have you ever seen that? And they were like, it was a leather purifying factory or something. They used to do something to make leather more durable. And all the chemicals that they were using and discarding, they were just throwing them into the reservoir. They went into the local community and fucking the people up. And they was just like, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, y'all got to stay with Brita. Could Brita have helped this, the filter? Is it that simple of a solution, or is it like once it gets...
That water is trash.
Yeah,
like
trash as water.
With the Chicago water, right, for example. It don't come out brown.
It don't.
And
It only got a few bones in it, right? Like
it's
only got.
So if you put that filter on it, it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
this is cool. That water brown and it smells like chlorine. I don't know what filter is gonna do that much work.
I'm reminded of a time. Do you remember summertimes being just out and about with your family, your cousins, whatever, and just getting real thirsty and drinking out of a hose?
Yes.
That used to be the best water.
But
it was tap. It was tap, but it just seemed so pure and refreshing. Oh, shout out to sprinkler systems, man. I pray that something can be done to right these wrongs, but if something can be learned from it, you know, I say that maybe could be a silver lining in it all. Because if you have maybe 20 to 35-year-old pipes in your city, maybe now's the time to start getting in there. It's kind of like an automobile.
Yeah,
like people are like, man, I don't want to replace my transmission. I don't want to do this. I want to do it. Get your fucking oil changed. Get your oil changed and replace your filters and do the simple things, and your car will not betray you. You don't have to do those big ticket fixes. But at the end of the day, hold your head, Louisianians, and go Saints. Yeah. All right, last but not least, on this week's episode of This and the Third, in the news segment, we have Verizon. The fuck? What happened with Verizon, man? I know they lost their mans to Sprint. What do you...
Yeah!
Do you agree with that? Can you switch spokesman? Can you do that?
So I was lost, right?
Yeah.
I was like, is this a...
Joke?
Yeah, I thought it was
farce?
like a...
spoof. We're making fun of y'all niggas.
Verizon to the commercial. They're like, no, he works at Sprint.
But he waited until his contract, you know, you can't work for a competitor for 5 years. Okay, 5 years and 1 day, what's good?
Yeah.
That was a smooth move.
So really, and that's exactly what I thought about the commercial, like, why don't I have service? Isn't Verizon you supposed to have
the most service? Like, they show you that map. That coverage map is they bread and butter.
Well, Santa Cruz, California, they've been fighting fires, right? So the firefighters, this particular day, when their data speed was going really, really slow.
Right, on walkie-talkies and just all communication devices.
If they needed to look up something, call somebody, they were not being able to get through. Right? And apparently, Verizon did this on purpose.
Why would you do this on purpose, Verizon?
And it's called throttling, where they can kind of control the speed. And so eventually, they did apologize and said it was their fault. It was a customer service issue.
We had an intern running the switchboard.
But they made them increase the plan to pay more.
That's roaming and data charges may apply.
Now, and that may be fine, right? But in the case of an emergency, don't talk to me about no plan.
Let my man be great.
Me.
Let's make the forest great again, dog. This nigga's in a life or death situation. You talk about that'll be 1 penny per minute. What?
So a lot of people who have concern about net neutrality, this is why, because companies can manipulate the network.
Right.
So that's the big thing, because I didn't really understand what net neutrality is. Why are we upset about it? But it's because it'll give them the control how much we can use.
How much throttle to give them. Yeah. Well, deregulation can be a good thing, man, because, I mean, you don't have a lot of phone companies or telecommunication companies, period. So it's like, who's policing them? Like, you know, this is a prime example of just using the fact that you can throw your weight around. It doesn't mean you have to. Right. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, hopefully no lives were lost. Hopefully no additional and further damage was occurred. But firefighting is real. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want nobody playing on my phone or walkie-talkie or anything in the midst of that type of shit.
Right.
So,
I agree.
Whatever. Get y'all minds together, Verizon. And the worst part about it is it's people that are running these systems. So it's somebody at the end of the day's decision in the greater scheme of our profit and loss. Fuck these firemen.
Somebody's sitting there like,
sitting there who's probably not fucking with fires at all. But that about wraps us up on this week's episode of This and the Third for our news segment, literally.